we're gonna try part 2 of this spring update. I have recorded this twice. First time, it was all well and good and I was wearing my tie-dye sweatshirt just like in part 1. Everything was great, except I realized after 3 years of having this phone that I could shoot in better quality. So I reshot it, but I can't record audio on my computer right now for some reason. So we're gonna just go outside now that it's overcast, so it's not as pretty and sunshiny, but I think it'll make the blooms and everything pop a little bit more, especially with the dark mulch. So let's get started with the back garden and the patio, and we might get to some winter sowing. We'll see, but there will be a part 3 where I talk about the seeds starting in the basement too, so just be on the lookout for that. Okay, so we're in the back garden area, and there have been a lot of changes back here, but I'm gonna go through the arbor, and I'll show you some of the changes that start over here. So these trees are leaning. That's not just a trick. Those will be taken down, and we're actually extending our garden further into the tree line area. It'll be more probably bush type objects, so that way our neighbors right behind the trees have a little bit more privacy. But these are some of the things blooming in the garden right now. We got this opal lungwort, and now that I'm shooting this in 4K, it looks even better on camera. Yeah. Wow. The Japanese Paris, just like the ones up front in the tree garden. Not as many blooms on this one, but this is much younger than the ones up front. We'll have lemon balm coming up, and bleeding hearts in different areas. An old daffodil, and there's some better looking ones over here. Kind of rained, so everything's a little wet. These daffodils I got from my in-laws' garden. It is not a real raccoon, it is a statue that I inherited from my mom. Big Rhodey has a bunch of flower blooms, ready to do stuff at some point. We cut the grasses back, and those will probably get put back there once everything's cleaned out. Columbine is just about ready to burst. I love this view, and I love that I can step back here onto the mulch and show you this view. This still needs to come out, but when I remove the grass, I'll just remove that too. But it's just so pretty. This is another lungwort. This is the only one that came back of the tiny packs. I think the squirrels or skunks or some other type of creature had them for a snack. We have this gnome, and further back you can see another gnome from Christmas Tree Shop. I love this. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen a picture of this. This is the bleeding heart that came from my friend Katie's house that used to belong to her grandmother or her yaya. We have a lot of daylilies popping up, some hostas. Here's the other gnome. This forsythia I planted this year. I know it's hard to see, but this plant I planted this year. It bloomed a little bit. I don't know if it's gonna last. This gargoyle friend, his name is Dobby. He lived at my mom and stepdad's house on their front step, and he's actually where we would do the hide-a-key. He's old and broken, but we fixed him up as much as we could back in the day, and now he hangs out here. And this is new. This is a strawberry vanilla hydrangea. I actually planted this maybe 2 weeks ago now, and it's put on growth with the leaves, which makes me so happy. What I planted here before was the azalea that was near our red shed. However, I must not have gotten the root ball correct. Maybe my homemade compost was too hot and ruined it. But in either case, I used lobster compost. I'll get a picture of it in a minute. And you know, it's happy. And it is slightly elevated compared to the rest of the bed. I think that's a good shot. You can kind of see how elevated it is because I put so much extra dirt there. and that's to protect the root ball. Under the lilac, this is Mim, another one of Mom's. She's a little broken, but we're keeping her. And then the front, right in front of the tree, you have the heuchera, which flushed back beautifully after a really good cutback. And then we have this dragon that kind of got moved because the May apple was underneath it. So I need to repaint some of the statuary. Alright, now we'll go to winter sowing and then the patio. Here's the compost I used. Now on to the winter sowing. Let's see. Got black-eyed Susans, creeping thyme, lavender, purple coneflower, perennial snapdragons. This is actually an old winter sowing container that had a spider living in it last year. So I left it alone, along with that one. It's still alive, so that's very exciting. There's some lupine in here that I need to open. There's lupine over there that I've already opened. And this, I believe, is Dragonhead. And the other one was Tango Sprite, or Apricot Sprite. Then in here we have some foxglove. Foxglove is the easiest thing to do by seed ever in winter sowing and in the basement garden. And over here we have a fall planter that I'm trying to do some forsythia in just because. And then nothing else is really growing in here. And now on to the raised bed. I transplanted some of the beets that I started from seed down in the basement. Two of them are looking pretty good. This is arugula that I started in winter sowing, and I transplanted it to here. This overwintered, as did the lavender. That is thyme. That white powder is repel all because the squirrels are actual monsters. This is baby Bertha, a propagation from my mom's big Bertha rose, and then I put the frizzle sizzle violas all around that, and that is just all frizzle sizzle. I will insert a clip of when this was beautiful before the chittering squirrels attacked. Monsters. And then I have some proven winners containers that I will be putting into hanging planters. These are the Super Bells Lemon Slice, Super Bells Tropical Sunrise, so pretty. I got 3 of each of those, and then I got a Verbena and another Super Bells Blue Moon Punch. Oh, I love that Verbena. Super pretty. The hibiscus is definitely dead. We have to remove it, but it takes both of us, and we need to just get rid of it. Over here on this table next to our grill, these were winter sowed Johnny Jump Ups or wild violas. I think this is a perennial snapdragon that overwintered. I don't know if it's going to come back. Hyacinth that was brought over from my stepdad's house. I need to plant it before the squirrels really get in here. Or the frizzle sizzles. So pretty. Over here, more frizzle sizzles. These ones actually came back from last year, so this is what it looks like when they come back. These are daylilies from my stepdad's garden, and these are creeping phlox that I got on sale. These little ducks were made by my grandfather. He cut them and painted them. I bring them in the winter and I take them out in the spring and summer and fall, and then I bring them back in when it gets cold because I like keeping up the, paint job that he did. Oh, and the last outdoor pots are a begonia that I should have brought inside when we had the heavy wind, but I think it's gonna be okay. And then this fall planter with the creeping jenny and the blue spruce seed in, both of which I cut back, and they're coming back. The primrose is looking pretty good in the kitty cauldron. So I hope you enjoyed part 2 of the spring update. I hope it wasn't too weird with if my hair hit the mic or something. I'm still trying to work on that. You can hear me okay. And if you like this video, you should hit the thumbs up button. It's super helpful for me. And it's helpful for people to know that, like, oh, this is good gardening content. I mean, it's not great gardening content, but And if you haven't already, subscribing is really helpful. And if you want to be notified every time that I upload a video, which will be more often, that's to me, you should hit the notification bell, because again, that is super helpful, and that means that you'll be able to be one of the first people that watches any of my videos. Look out for part 3, where I talk about the seed starting in the basement. If you really like this video, so you can share with your cat, share with your dog, and share with your friends. When you do share with your friends on social media, please remember to tag me in them. My links are down below. I have an Instagram that I post to almost daily with gardening things and Nissa pictures and a few selfies, because on the days where you feel really nice, you just gotta share it with your internet friends. I hope that you guys really did enjoy this video, and I'll see you in part 3.